I photobomb it?
Let's see.
You or look at the camera.
Well, you look at me, or at the camera, or both. It doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna go down the questions, and you guys can skip whatever you want. And you have to look at the camera either. Okay. I'm trying to think. Let's see. I can hear you on it because I don't have a mic, so you have to. And you don't have to look at the camera. You can look at me.
Can we just look at each other?
Yeah, the whole time.
Uninterrupted eye contact.
I mean,
all right.
Okay. To like walk us through it.
So.
And then just do special stuff. I'm not looking at the camera at you.
And not knowing where to look.
So you're gonna have.
I'm just.
Seriously, you've got to make a series of facial expressions.
Okay,
and then cut to you.
And then. So yeah. It doesn't matter. If something pops into your head, just whatever you want to say. And you can ask us questions.
when we were first dating, he was the first one to ever offer me cheese. And when we were hanging out, he just sliced me some cheese. It's a VanCott thing.
To make sure to ask me about Mountain Dew. Grandpa, love you. And I love giving Grandma Trude soft, cheeky a kiss. I love it. They always, I have always felt welcome here. I love my fam, this side of the fam. Love it.
Your dad will always give us a piece of cheese. He'll always offer food. and just to express their appreciation a lot.
Every time that I come, he usually asks me how my lesson went.
Yeah?
And we talk about that for a little bit.
When he used to have the newspaper and I was looking for a job, he would always like find it and give it to me. And then the last few years they don't take the paper. And so he would always say, I wish I had the paper for you to look at.
They do. Your dad, when I first met him, he always invites me up to do like, hey, can I get you an egg? Can I get you some eggs? It wasn't like one, but it's like multiple eggs, and he's in there and he's doing this little thing in the pan. And
they asked me about running. They asked me if I have a race coming up, and I guess this year it's been a little rough because I hurt my foot, so they kind of avoid the subject now. But yeah, I appreciate it though because I like to talk about running.
Yeah.
Think of as they're really accepting to pretty much, I don't know if anything, but almost anything. They just accept people who they are and don't really tend to judge people.
Yeah.
In my, from what and they're very willing to, very giving and just loving in general. And,
People matter, not things to them.
Trudy managed to include everybody. It was easy coming into the family. They already had a big family, and it was very easy and very natural for them to just include one more. And it didn't matter who they were. They never put on airs. They don't look down on anyone. They're very respectful of everybody and open and welcoming, and made it really easy to marry into the family.
They're accepting.
They can talk to anybody.
Oh yeah, that's a great attribute.
Probably the fact that they've always been able to love us and accept us for who we are, no matter what. They've never, they've always made us feel loved through our whole lives.
They're not micromanaging anybody's lives. They let us make mistakes. They let us make our own choices. They don't insert themselves into anything. And sometimes it can be frustrating, but looking back, you realize it's such a blessing because they're there for you if you need them, but they want you to live your own life.
First thing that comes to my mind is always giving, service, helping. First one's to help, first one to serve. That's the first one. Loving, kind. Something came up and I said, well, how did you know you're going to marry me? It's like, I saw how your parents were together and I have no worries or something like that. Just I saw how your parents were as parents and I have no worries about it.
Successful. They put family first. My dad worked lots of hours at the school with a bunch of annoying little kids, and then he'd come home and still have the energy to, have us all go out and throw a frisbee in the street with him for a little bit, take us over to the school to play. Mom that held house and home together with 9 kids, which is amazing. And I don't know, I think that's what made them successful, is they took the time to make things fun, even when we didn't have the money or the time going on trips. Everyone said the Uintas, going up the Uintas, some of my favorite memories, going up the Uintas and yeah, having lunch, dinner. They just make things fun. So that was my answer.
Just how faithful in the gospel she is, and I've said this before, but I find that her opinion always matters to me. And I always tell Josh, call your mom and just see what her opinion is on this, or I want to know what she thinks about this. And I find that I trust what she thinks more than just about anyone.
Yeah, Mom reading the Book of Mormon always, an incredible example of reading the scriptures and applying it. The amount of time that you spend with each kid individually, driving us everywhere, picking us up from work. I was doing my environmental science merit badge, and I was observing the wildlife in the middle of UVSC, and you found out about that, and you said there's no wildlife in UVSC, and took us up into the Uintas a few weekends in a row, and just to look at actual wildlife.
And but one night I wanted to go to the movies with my friend. It was a school night and Dad wouldn't let me, so I ran into my room crying, and I was crying in the dark, and Johnny came in and sat down, left the lights off, sat down in a chair and played a song on a guitar for me until I fell asleep. And I just thought, boy, he's so mean during the day, and then he does just the sweetest, nicest little thing. And it was just so sweet, so good memory.
No, just you can always tell in everything they do, the focus is family and the gospel. It's just everything they do. No,
So-
I always tell everyone, I hit the jackpot with in-laws.
And I like that they fought in front of us, I have to say. Some people say don't fight in front of
That
your
came
kids.
out in the lesson today in our ward. The guy basically said you need to let's see the fighting, you need to see the resolve in front of each other, otherwise you
Yeah, and I like that Mom and
Your
Dad,
kids
we
get
didn't always see the
messed up.
resolve, but we could see that there was disagreements, and I think that's helped me, even like when we've had disagreements, to realize that everybody has them.
I guess-
Every married couple has it, and
I've never had disagreement.
Shut
Just kidding,
up.
that was a joke. It was-
In simple little moments
Yeah.
where you just think, you're really grateful for good in-laws.
So John is the most awesome, loving, doting grandfather, and he always makes you feel welcome in his home by just he always says, oh good, Truman and Eli, and he knows most of his grandchildren's names. That's pretty good. Just kidding. He knows everybody. He has always made me feel very loved.
I would also say I see that not only were John and Trudy good parents, but they've helped their kids to learn those skills too.
Trudy have a love of nature, of really noticing the details of the Lord's work. They are in nature, they notice things, they watch things, their eye is constantly pondering the beauties of nature, and so I love that about both of them.
I love his sense of humor. It makes me always feel at ease.
I would say Mom's ability to make everything seem more, we never felt, growing up there was always enough food, we didn't feel, we felt loved. She could make amazing things and homemaking things. She was the world, things like that. She just made everything beautiful, and you saw the beauty in everything, no matter what the circumstance.
What
I would say Dad, I would say his ability to be young. He always was out playing with us. He was always doing the fun kid things, flying kites, painting, animals, pets, things to be able to roll with things that, caterpillars, mice, snakes, fish.
Just your mom and dad remember everybody's birthdays and come every time the kids have a birthday and come and take them a really nice card. And Ian has fun sorting through all of his cards that he's gotten over the years.
Collection of past ones.
They just make every grandchild, every in-law feel really special.
Just the fact that they shared the family with me. Not having kids, it's like they're kind of foreign creatures, these kids. And so and I'm used to living alone, and so it was just so fantastic that they're willing to let all of these grandkids and great-grandkids come to my backyard so that I get to share in the family experience on a regular basis.
Going on a mission and sharing the verse about charity, I'd say Grandma Trudy's mom is the most charitable person I know. Her life's just selfless, giving away to kids and others. She's really worn out her life for everybody else, and so
she would just talk about, probably because I was being ornery or whatever, but she would say, you know, you don't just magically change your personality the day you get married. The way you treat your parents and your siblings is the way you're going to treat your husband and your children. So if you want to be a sweet wife and a sweet mom, you better be sweet.
Getting ice cream with the last 2 dimes.
I remember Mom saying to me is when I came in once and said, I'm bored, what can I do? And she said, only boring people get bored. And so that's what I always tell the kids, only boring people get bored. Nobody wants to be a boring person, so they don't repeat it. They just...
Hell's Bells and Fat the Water Rat. And for Dad, the first one that comes to my mind is, why roll with the skunks when you can soar with the eagles?
I remember Dad's always had, remember this day, drives in the car, remember this day, and he'd tell me some level he's gotten into or some diet he started or whatever, remember this day. So I had a lot of dates I was trying to remember. But
I would say for Mom, she always, you know, like if you only had a dime, nickel for bread and nickel for ice cream. That was one that I always think of with Mom.
All positive, you know, no downers, be a friend, like all those, yeah, just all those little things.
He always would talk about how much he loved us and how blessed he was. He was the richest man in the world. And the way for when I was a mom was that when you felt the least like giving your child a snuggle or a hug, or the least like they deserved it, was probably when they needed it the most. So, you know, she'd always say kindness never hurts, or kindness never costs anything, or I can't remember.
Dad, favorite advice is that which you focus on becomes increased. Look for the roses, not the thorns. That applies in every aspect.
You use that.
All the time.
He says that to people all the time.
Arguments with companionships, mission. No,
Yeah.
that's great.
The Spirit doesn't have a hard time getting through to you, is one that he would say. I don't know, no A minuses is a good one.
Affected by it. He said, well, there are 3 ways to teach. Well, he said there are 3 effective ways to teach. Number 1 is example, number 2 is example, and number 3 is example. And everything else comes after that, you know. Oh, shut up and just suck your beer. Suck your beak and be happy.
Yeah, you suck your beak and be happy. I think I've used that with the kids a bunch.
Suck your beak and be happy. Yes, you have said that one a lot.
My mother-in-law's influence on me with my kids.
Suck
So
your
suck
beak.
your beak and be happy. And then, and then John was, only one mother and only one father.
That was quoting my mom.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're...
I love the little grandpa-isms like, be the solution, not the problem. Or, there's 100,000 of them, but right on the spot, I can't think of them.
Anyway, Mom has said lots of times, and it applies directly in my marriage too, when you're both so mad at each other, it's usually because you're both so tired. Just get a good night's sleep and whatever it is forgotten.
I remember Trudy telling a story there in the living room where she talked about how sometimes John would aggravate her throughout marriage, and then she said one day it dawned on her that maybe I aggravate him as much as he aggravates me.
favorite vacation is probably going to Stark Pond and hiking out at night after you've had the fire and watch the sun, whatever, just hiking out at night. I remember doing those and loved Stark Pond.
Fun memories will always be Oregon Coast, going up the UNS. Going to the school, that was always so fun.
Going to play in the gym.
Playing in the gym.
Your mom boiling water and doing dishes in Oregon. First time going there, I remember getting the food ready and the kids helped some, but your mom was leading out and just taking care of people.
Good.
While Grandpa grabbed the little Jacob, like when we were there with Jacob, he put him on our shoulders and let Jacob scratch him and cause him to bleed, things like that.
You know, getting to Oregon and Dad pulling out a stack of DI Book of Mormons, you know, awesome. Or pulling in and it's 11 o'clock at night and Mom's got that red checkered tablecloth and she starts cooking
Love them.
clam chowder at like 10 o'clock at night. You know, they were just the best.
It's
The best.
Today at church, favorite Sunday memories, favorite home memories, and I was thinking of, because it was part of our lesson, and I was thinking of Sunday dinners and how awesome it was that even with our crazy, hectic lives, we always had, not always, but for the most part, Sunday dinners and what a memory it is, and Dad always asking us what we learned, and as simple as it was, just that feeling that was always in the house and how we felt. We always felt, I don't know, just the warm comfort of home.
Always an importance on getting us out. You know, we didn't have a lot of money. I mean, money got better as it went along, but it still was never a lot of money. But they always would take us to the Uintas or, you know, Great Salt Lake, or just take us somewhere outdoors within a day's drive constantly. And then I'd drop a hat if Dad had even just $1,000 at the end of a school year. We'd go to Oregon until there was just enough for gas money back and get back with next to zero, you know.
Incorporating with your kids.
Oregon. Our kids love Oregon.
Yeah, traveling.
It's in their
getting out.
blood.
No, we did a lot of Uintas from little. Yeah. 7, 8 years old, I remember Uintas. You know, and then a little older camping at Mirror Lake, and Dad didn't like fishing, but would show us how to fish. And
What was better was just always taking the time to go up to Uintas just after school. Just load a bunch of kids in the car and take off no matter where. I remember Sunday drives out to the Green Mine and up Hobble Creek Canyon and everywhere else. So I just, you know, I've shared that a lot of times. You don't need to do the big elaborate trips. It's a lot of those little day things, those just drives and taking off and going to the other side of the lake. So just always taking time, a bit amidst a busy schedule to make time to do something, just anything.
Yeah.
I just loved always, we went up the canyon, we'd always go for drives. Dad loved to go for drives. So down at the lake, up the mountains, up to Salt Lake and all around Salt Lake. He always wanted to go for drives after school got out.
Mom in Oregon, all of us have been playing at the beach. We're covered in sand. When you get back and she's got red and white checker tablecloth out and she's cooking spaghetti and French bread, and it's dark and she's got a propane stove every night and doing laundry while we're out playing, and that's a sad memory for her maybe, but it's awesome. My favorite memory of Dad is being on his shoulders when I was little, and him at one of the beaches in Oregon walking out into the waves at night and then turning around and saying, "You can't catch us, wave, you can't catch it," running away, and then doing that for 10 or 15 minutes. And that's my favorite memory of Dad.
For all you've done for us, I can't even thank you for the sacrifices you've made. So thank you.
We love you. Happy 50th anniversary. I can't even believe that.
And many more.
50. Woo!
50 years! Congratulations! That's amazing!
Ditto.
Love you.
You're awesome. Okay.
Should we say it together? Like, so you
Yeah,
cut out?
I'll end it with
Let's say happy 50th anniversary. Mom and Dad, we love you. Okay.
Happy 50th anniversary.
We love you.
We love you, Mom and Dad.